A woman is behind bars for allegedly fatally shooting a car dealership employee during a heated argument after he refused to refund money for a car she leased. At around 9 a.m. on Monday the 20th of March, 23-year-old Jakira Anderson went to MSI Auto Sales at 3012 Parmenter Street in Middleton, Wisconsin, to dispute a transaction involving a vehicle. She spoke with employee 34-year-old Korsu Samba, and she argued with him for hours. At around 1:30 p.m, Korsu directed Jakira to leave the building and placed his hand on her back to guide her out the door. Jakira stopped at the exit door, turned to face Korsu and pulled out a gun and fired a bullet into his chest. After being shot, Korsu stumbled backwards and fell into the parking lot. Jakira then stood over him for a brief moment before getting into a car and leaving. Jakira had been on a call with 911 when the call disconnected. Upon the dispatcher calling her back, Jakira told the dispatcher that a man put his hands on her, but said she left the scene and was headed home, but she did not report that she shot Korsu. Witnesses contacted 911 on reports of a man shot, and paramedics rushed Korsu to the hospital in a critical condition, but died shortly thereafter. Doctors said he took a direct hit to the right lung and heart. Police located Jakira outside her mother's home 2 hours later on the far west side of Madison, and she was arrested. In an interview with police, Jakira said she pulled out a gun because she felt threatened by Korsu, but she could not explain to officers anything threatening that he said to her. She told police she was trying to scare him back or something, and then said, "Didn't think I was going to hit him. I wasn't even aiming or nothing." Jakira is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and is held at the Dane County Jail on a $1 million bond. "35-year-old Heath Marshall Dunning of El Dorado, Illinois, was found guilty this week for stabbing a man in the heart during an argument as the two men drove down a rural road. At 8:39 p.m. on the 15th of April 2021, Franklin County Sheriff's deputies responded to a road in West Frankfort and found 50-year-old Dennis Martin suffering from a stab wound. He was declared dead at the scene, and deputies arrested Heath on suspicion of murder. According to authorities, on the night of the stabbing, Heath was driving Dennis's van along State Route 149, and the two men fought over Heath's directions of travel. Dennis reportedly tried to take the keys out of the ignition, when in retaliation Heath grabbed a knife with his right hand and swung towards Dennis's chest, plunging the blade between his ribs and deep into his heart. Heath pulled into a driveway and called 911. A Franklin County Sheriff's Office responded within minutes, but the damage was immediately fatal, and Dennis was deceased before paramedics arrived to assist. On Thursday the 23rd of March, Heath was convicted of first-degree murder and fell in possession of a weapon. Heath has previously been convicted of aggravated battery, criminal damage to property and burglary. He'll be sentenced at a later date. A 36-year-old man is behind bars for allegedly attacking his girlfriend after she confronted him about sexually assaulting her 11-year-old daughter. In the early morning hours of the 10th of March, Baldwin County deputies responded to David Scott Perez's home in Robertsdale, Alabama, after a concerned neighbor heard fighting at the home. When deputies arrived at the scene, they witnessed a child running from the house screaming for help. David and his girlfriend got into a physical altercation after she questioned him over allegations that he sexually abused her daughter. David allegedly punched and hit her in the face multiple times with a broomstick, causing broken facial bones. He then strangled her until she blacked out. David and the woman were taken to local hospitals for treatment for injuries sustained during the fight. The woman told investigators that she tried to call 911, but David took her phone from her and continued to attack her. On the 17th of March, David was arrested on charges of domestic violence assault, domestic violence strangulation, and interference with the domestic violence emergency call. Deputies then spoke with the 11-year-old girl, who told investigators that David had sexual intercourse and other sexual contact with her. Following that interview, David was additionally charged with first-degree rape and sexual abuse with a child under 12 years of age. David's been held at the Baldwin County Jail on a $40,500 bond. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for the 30th of March.